mentions. That was Super Earth Rock by Little Lustfolk, a rather consistent contributor to the channel and a good personal friend of mine. Now if only I could get her to play Z Rising with me. Anyway, the top headline of the day is that I have received intelligence on the overall strength of the enemy. Initial estimates suggest that this great host of the Illuminate is about 40 million strong. Link for this tracker is in the description below. Considering that most of that is voteless, and the Liberation Fleet is famed the universe over for slaying 2 billion Terminids in a single day, we might actually not have anything to worry about after all.
You silly sod! What? You got us all worked up!
Unfortunately, for all of our democratic fervor, we've only torn through about 5% of that number.
This is going to be a long crusade.
So, here's the plan. We're going to fight an approach that I call hippity-hoppity, get off my property, where we are going to bleed the Illuminate through asymmetric warfare over the course of Widow's Harbor, Pilen-V, New Haven, Mars, and maybe dance a little mean tango with the dregs left on Super Earth. And that's only so I can show off to my mom how awesome my fist units are out in the field. Once we run the ugly kids out of town, I propose that we start throwing things that go boom into Meridia until we hit something the Illuminate really do care about. Or perhaps explore the possibility of entering the wormhole ourselves. I don't think these mucky fluffers are ever going to stop until we make them stop. Some folks just don't give you the options of peaceful coexistence, do they? Speaking of a lack of peaceful coexistence, the DSS has been taking some fire from Illuminate overships, which I suppose was inevitable. I mean, we're basically parking a gigantic armored brick next to a fleet of hostile alien weirdos. I mean, maybe we should move that away so that the techs can put some duct tape over the hull breaches? It has been observed that the Illuminate did some homework here and are deploying various countermeasures to stop the DSS from doing stuff, so they are studying and learning from our deployments. All the more reason to reduce them to museum entries, if you ask me. I really don't feel like these chucklemongers should be allowed to be around to bother us anymore. They are truly unsettling, and they scared the schoolgirls. It's the tentacles, you know. And I thought the impalers were bad enough. That's not a joke. I am truly distressed here. I really feel like a good number of our enemies should be on some kind of registry, but I'm going to just have to settle for putting them in the dirt. Fortunately, we don't seem to need to deal with them right now. The Tyranids have halted their advance on Nublaria 1, and just seem to be observing how the Illuminate handle us. It could be the fact that they've exhausted themselves with their rapid expansion, or perhaps the squids are so focused on us that they can't spare the mental bandwidth to encourage the folks to do anything else. The automatons also seem not keen on engaging us. They're way up near the northern galactic frontiers, securing Zzaniah Prime for another attempt at opening an FTL lane between the Gaellivare and Veld sectors. Is that bad? Yes, but at the moment we're kind of dealing with this other catastrophe over here. I'd like to live long enough to actually attend my father's funeral and memorial next month, if that's okay with everybody. Now for a little news from the business sphere. Well, we actually have it together long enough as a species to have business. We have new stock market price changes, starting with the Mercdivers PMC, who are positively Scrooge McDucking it up with all the squid-related murder work to do lately. They're up like 2% and remain a distinctly worthwhile investment. The Cave-Filling Corporation is down by 2%, as is Gunvald, who is still mucking about on Krakabos with the Vertex and Nadir Divers, and I will get into them in just a little bit. The Tank Hunters saw growth for the first time in weeks, rising 2%, but Blackwall and Future Foundations experienced a sharp contraction with a loss of 3 and 5% respectively this week. Anvil Industries appears to be an extremely reliable investment, as they have never witnessed a downturn in stock prices, continuing that time-honored tradition with an increase of 3% today. However, Venture Company was finally taken off the boards today with no further purchases being allowed by the Galactic Stock Market Regulatory Board. I suppose it was inevitable. Will they return? Liberty only knows. Heck, I'm hoping that we live past the next 2 weeks personally. Now for news from Gunvald's corner of the universe, who is likely watching this whole affair in the Atlas sector play out, mumbling to himself, "Oh, Neptune," repeatedly. The results of the referendum that they are hosting appear to heavily favor independence from Super Earth. But if we end up losing this battle, it will not end up mattering anyway. To the Illuminate, being human is sin enough, and they don't really care what mutation you're rocking or what flag you fly. This news has greatly upset a pair of Helldivers who were present on Gunvold on shore leave, and they brutally beat a civilian into near death over frustrations with the referendum. Said incident has sparked a wave of widespread xenophobia against super-Earth citizens, which comes at something of a bad time because I imagine a good number of people are looking to flee our mother planet over concerns that it may soon be on fire. Even the oceans, yes. One Helldiver is in critical condition as the word surrender comes only after death in our dictionary, and he was not prepared to give in to the military police, as is their victim. But both are being held without bail on Gunvold, pending investigation and trial. Now, I do have a solution here that might benefit everyone, Gunvold, just as a suggestion. Patch these bozos up and ship them out with my Seraphim. They'll be deployed to the Atlas sector to work off their debt to society. If they live, all is forgiven. If they don't, well, justice served. We really could use all the help that we can get out here anyway. I just saw 3 whole squads of divers getting turned into bags of shredded cheese by an interloper this morning. Those things are pure evil. That's been Liberty's latest with me, Pandera the Radio Angel. This is the fight of our lives, Helldivers, and you're going to want to keep it locked in here for all the latest and greatest headlines of making the Sklits march over 40 miles of broken glass and barbed wire for their vengeance upon our people. You really want us that bad? You're going to have to work for it. I'm no cheap date, Cthulhu. Bring it on. For liberty, for freedom, for democracy, and for Super Earth.